Hey yo, what's up? What's up? I got a quick kind of subject to hit on. This has to do with the black versus Mexican thing that's going on the like on the Twitter sphere and all over like Instagram and all that. Just a quick thing to hit on. Like I told you guys, I'm an ally for whoever is an ally for us. So if you know what I'm saying, if you are not an ally of us, then I'm not an ally of you, and that goes for you particularly. That doesn't go for your whole group or anything like that. But if you are an ally, if you are a Mexican family and you stand with Black America, then I stand with you specifically. But I don't stand with the whole group of people because everybody does not have good intentions. But anyway, let me get to it. I want to talk about proximity to whiteness. Proximity to whiteness, y'all. This is something that I think a lot of people aren't talking about in this. There's some people talking about it, but a lot of people are not talking about this. Your proximity to whiteness, and I think a lot of people's proximity to whiteness that are not white, they tend to fall into that. You know, as a kid trying to learn race, the difference between race, ethnicity, and nationality and culture and all that, and how sometimes there's no difference, right? I was trying to learn all that. And one of the things that I learned just from experience of racism as a black man, so this isn't my opinion, this is my experience. One of the things that I learned is that if you are the acceptable minority, or if you have a closer proximity to whiteness than me, there are lots of times that you use that against me, my people. You know what I mean? And there's times you might not know that you're using it against me or my people. You get what I'm saying? For example, you know, in California, a lot of the people in California that live in the upscale neighborhoods, and you can take this how you want to take it, but a lot of them are Indian or some other form of Asian, you know, usually Chinese, Japanese, Korean, stuff like that. You might get a few Vietnamese sprinkled in there, a few Thai sprinkled in, right? And first of all, what I'm not about to do is shame somebody for working hard in life, because that's not what we're about to do. There's nothing wrong with where they live, why they're living there, how they're living there, whatever. The issue is that when you drive through these neighborhoods, and I do this every day, when I drive through these neighborhoods, I get weird looks from a lot of people. And I'm used to getting weird looks from the Caucasian people in that area. You know what I mean? They're wondering what you're doing there. But when I get the weird looks from Indians, you know what I mean, from Arabs, when I get the weird look from Asians, it throws me a little bit. But it's not something that I'm not used to. The acceptable, and this is not something that Asians did on purpose or anything, that this has nothing to do, this was nothing Asians could have done. But the acceptable minority in California, I'm not sure about other states, is there are a couple. Indian and any other form of Asian, you know what I mean? And you know, there are times where, you know, a couple others might sprinkle in on that, but that's what it is. If you are Eastern European, Romanian, any from Kazakhstan, any of that, right? That is considered in America. It is considered white, meaning it's white, and not culturally white. It's not your nationality, but that would be what you're considered. Your race is considered here, because your race and your nationality are two different things. Your nationality wouldn't be white. Your race would be white in America. So that's something that we've experienced. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, it's tough because it's tough because you have to try to explain it to people and hope that they understand it when you're talking about it. People that don't look like me, people that are not part of my, like people that are not black, right? And you got to kind of explain it, and it's tough. It is, because your proximity to whiteness is not something that you always use, but it is something that you could always benefit from. You know what I mean? Like I hear a lot of white people say, "Hey man, it ain't no difference. We're all poor." If you're poor and white, you're poor and white. If you're poor and black, you're poor and black. But believe there is a difference. There will always be a difference. The Irish, it took them a while to be even classified as white. They were then classified as white. They didn't like us that whole time because they believed they were white. They changed their last names to fit in. I can't change my last name to fit in. It ain't gonna happen. I can't change my name. It is what it is for me. I think the tough part, and I don't want to change my name. I don't want to change my culture or anything like that. But I say that to say proximity to whiteness is something that can be used against me, either like literally right then and there, or it could be used against me, down the line sometime, right? If me and you go out for a job and you believe I'm the better applicant for the job, you might believe I am, but me and you both go out for a job and you get the job, and it happens to be because of your proximity to whiteness. Maybe you're Mexican and you are a few shades lighter than me, right? And you basically look like a white boy until they see your last name. If you talk a particular way and you go about yourself a particular way, you are the more desired applicant. And that's just the reality. And it's hard because when I say that to somebody, when we say that to people, a lot of the times the way that it comes off is, like if I say it to you, you might think, "Oh man, this dude just told me I don't have to work for everything that I need." Or this person don't think I ever had to grind. This person don't know what I went through. I never said I don't know what you went through. I don't care, but I never said I don't know, right? I never assumed. But what I can tell you is that there are certain things that you won't go through because of your race. What we're seeing right now with the whole kicking people out and all that, but believe that you have to understand that as a people, when you're talking, this is what we're seeing right now. It's crazy. Don't get me wrong. It's crazy. It's crazy. But there are a small amount of people who are not legal in this country that are being kicked out. There's a certain amount. I believe, and my personal opinion is that some Mexicans are here legally and are being kicked out, right? That's something that we're seeing from time to time in this whole thing right here. So don't get me wrong. I'm saying some people that are illegal are being kicked out. Now, some of the people that are being kicked out are people that have done bad, crazy stuff. And that's cool for them. I'm pretty sure most people don't want them here. People that are here illegally, what are you doing here? Are you working and chilling and doing the same thing I'm doing? Then why can't you be here? You know what I mean? Whatever. I think maybe they should make it easier for you to be here. You're doing the same shit I'm doing every day. I'm not doing anything crazy every day. Why can't you, right? But I can tell you that the difficulty in this discussion, one of the difficulties is proximity to whiteness, and it's that some Mexicans use that as a tool to get over on black people. And I told you about, how things happen in different parts of the U.S., and how there's different experiences depending on where you come from. If you're black and from LA, you have a particular experience with Latinos more than likely. I'm black and from Northern California, so mine is like, for the most part, embracing. You know what I mean? For the most part, embracing. They've only ever asked me for respect. That's, all day. They've only ever given me that, for the most part. So it's like, you give them respect and they give it to you back. That sounds like a normal relationship with people. You know what I mean? So I personally, like I said, I don't have issues with Latino people, but I can tell you, that there are some black people that do because of their experiences. And there are some Mexicans that have bad experiences with black people. They get called names, little rude jokes and things like that. Assaulting, all kind of stuff. 100%. 100%. And both sides are talking about something that sort of pushes their own narrative. But in reality, I don't even think they're taking our jobs. I don't. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't. In California, Mexicans, Latino people work in all different sectors. They work in IT, they work in high-level management, they work in just standard hourly, they work in all sectors. So if they're taking jobs, they're just taking jobs from everybody equally. But what's the difference between them and other people that come from other countries? There are Asians that are here illegally, right? Shit, I ain't gonna lie, it's Africans and Caribbeans that are here illegally. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I mean? Out here not having none of the food I want at the Jamaican restaurant. They ain't got none of the food I want over there. They out of everything. When I opt out, man. It's like all the time. But no, I kid. But at the same time, man, the real thing though, the for sure thing is you have to really watch your proximity to whiteness and understand that you have that a lot of the times. Unless you are straight up like Oaxacan, like you look like you're super brown as a super brown Mexican, something like that. If it ain't that, man, a lot of the times, like from Michoacan, all that, like they get super, super light. Man, listen, unless you have an accent or I know your last name or you have a straight, like a super Mexican name, that's all I'm gonna know. I'm gonna assume you're white. And when the police pull you over, they're gonna assume you're white. You know what I'm saying? When you're going for a job, they're gonna assume you're white. When you're in a place and the police come in, they're gonna assume you're white. There's so many situations that we've seen African Americans, black people get unalived or attacked or have something happen to them because they're just in that place and they're black. They're just there and they're black. They just did this and they're black. So to have that feeling, to know that it's anything is a possibility, to know anything is a possibility, right? And then to see people go, hey, help us out, right? You have to understand that there are some of us that because of your proximity to whiteness, which again isn't something that you created, but your proximity to whiteness made things a little bit difficult, right? There's a possibility it made things a little difficult, and now now you're in a scenario where you're trying to apologize. Hey, I want to apologize about this and that, and I shouldn't have did this and I shouldn't have said that and I shouldn't have whatever. Your proximity to whiteness caused somebody else, a black person, some sort of pain, some sort of discomfort because of something. And again, I'm gonna reiterate it. It's not a thing that you created. You didn't create racism. That's not something you created. There's a lot of you guys that are not racist. You know what I'm saying? I would go as far as to say most of you all ain't, from my experience, right? But you have to understand, you benefit from your proximity to whiteness. You benefit from racism depending upon the scenario. When compared to us, for sure. Asians, any type of Asians, Indians, even Pacific Islanders. When it comes to black people, how from a color standpoint, from a race standpoint, the farther you are from us, the more you tend to benefit in the world. That's just what it is. And we know that. We understand that. If you use that, you've lost an ally. So there are some black people that are like, yo, you lost an ally. And that's just what it is. So I just wanted to come out and let y'all know that's reality. I'm going to holler at you. I'm going to go get my son.